Hello, everyone. Leani Lopez here with another episode of I Got Nothing, a podcast for exhausted writers. I am joined by a fellow exhausted writer. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sam Riplee. I am an academic, a researcher, a feminist, and an advocate for women. I have a master's in government from Johns Hopkins, and I am currently studying menstrual health. I also have an online business that helps empower women through reclaiming their cycle. And last month, I actually launched my new guide called What the Patriarchy Doesn't Want You to Know About Your Period.
Yes! And I'm so excited that you're here for multiple reasons. One, just clicked online immediately. But two, this is actually a topic I'm very interested in chatting to you about because of my own experiences. But why don't you give some more details about the guide and kind of how that came about?
Yeah, absolutely. So it really started, let's see, in the start of 2025. I made the choice to come off of hormonal birth control, the hormonal birth control pill, not for any other reason than that I just had been on it for almost 17 years. And I was like, I feel like there's got to be another way. Like, I don't want to have to continue taking synthetic hormones. And of course, I'm on social media all the time because I have an online business, and you see things out there like of all of the risks and people that have been on it for a long time, or cancer warnings, all that kind of stuff. So I was like, okay, I want to find like a different way to do this where I'm not having to take the synthetic hormones all the time, and also just for the amount of time that I had been on them. So that's when I really started diving into all the research. I mean, personally, I had that personal experience of coming off, and I talked to my doctors about it, of course. Like, I went to my gynecologist and said, "Hey, this is what I want to do," and it was like crickets, which at first I thought was good. I was like, "Oh, good, she's not like trying to convince me to stay on." And I told her, I was like, I'm not trying to get pregnant or anything. I've been on it for almost 17 years, and I want to come off." And she was like, "Okay." But like, that was it. That was the end of the conversation.
Nothing like,
that was
well,
it.
This is what you can expect.
Nothing.
And
Right. So I was like, okay, I guess it's going to be fine. And now that I've done so much research on this topic, and I've read so many books of just guides for how to come off, and meal plans, and what your hormones are going to do, and all of this stuff, and like what to expect. And there's even like, they call it, I should have looked this up, but they call it's something like post something, coming off the pill,
there's
like your
a
body
specific
goes through
name
this
for
like,
it.
yeah, there's like an actual term for it, where it's like your body's going to be in shock because you're not taking the synthetic hormones anymore. So I was just kind of like shook that after doing all this research, my doctor had nothing to say to me. So that's when I started diving into all of my own individual research. And then I'm now enrolled in a couple of courses, one from Northwestern that's just on the basics of reproduction and women's reproductive cycle. And then also from Columbia, it's a menstruation in a global context. And it kind of talks more about like period poverty and just overall like kind of more public health based. But it really became just like such a passion project for me, and something that I'm going to be studying further. And another thing that really inspired me too was just how many women I've connected with and that have reached out with me since I've started all of my research. Because I've had many friends that are like, "Oh my God, I've been on the pill for over 15 years, and I feel exhausted, and I feel like I'm going crazy, and could it really be like the pill?" And so I always tell people, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. I can only share my personal advice, my personal experience, and the research that I've done. But ingesting a synthetic hormone when your body naturally has a 28-day hormonal cycle, and that is interrupted or stopped, completely for decades, over a
Yeah.
decade, has to do something to you. It just has to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been really cool being able to connect with so many women who have had similar experiences. So I think it's just menstrual cycle health and education has been so limited and so taboo and just not something that is part of our normal day-to-day jargon that we, communicate with others about, that I think it's really important that we start talking about it and start putting more research into it. And yeah.
Oh man, I completely agree. I was on the hormonal birth control pill when I was 18. I got on
Hmm.
it shortly after I left for college
Hmm.
and was on it all throughout college. And I had a lot of health issues in college.
Mm.
And one of them was I naturally had a hard time gaining weight, but my weight stayed pretty steady, even though I was a little
Mm.
skinny. And when I got on the pill, that changed. I lost weight, which I could not afford to lose. And I
Mm.
had a really hard time gaining it back. And with that came other health issues. And I didn't think anything of it because I was just like on my own. I wasn't eating properly. There was all these other
Yeah.
factors that I'm sure did not help the situation. But I
Right.
remember about a week before graduation, I was so busy with work and finals, like I had missed a couple days on my pill. So I was like, I'll do the hard restart. Like, I'll wait and then I'll start it at the start of like my next cycle or month or whatever the instructions said. And
Hmm.
I felt better that week than I had felt in 4 years.
Wow.
And I was just like, I was talking to my fiance, who is my husband now, and I was like, I think the pill is what's been messing me up. And he
Mm.
was like, you haven't been on it for a couple days, right? And I was like, no, and I feel so much better. And he was like, well, like, we'll be safe and just don't try it for a month and see if you keep feeling better.
Yeah.
And so we did that, and I felt like myself again.
Mm.
And so I was like, okay, fuck that. I'm not going back on that. There are
Yep.
other contraceptives. And I was fine, and my cycle was fine. And then after I had my son, I went on my IUD because remembering to take a pill when you have a newborn is diabolical.
Yeah.
And I got some info on that, but I really didn't get much, and I didn't have really time to do my research because by the time you get that, you're not thinking about that at all.
Right.
Yeah, and so I got it and it was fine, but like it didn't stop my period, but instead of having a light period, I would have like 2 to 3 weeks of just spotting continually.
Mm.
So it was like I had my period all the time.
Yeah. That
And
sucks.
it does. And towards the end of its like 5-year cycle, it's supposed to be 5 years or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But at around 4 years, I started having problems. And I started having what appeared to be UTIs, but did not actually present once they were like tested.
Uh-huh.
And it happened repeatedly. And I didn't think anything of it other than what the hell's going on. But eventually I got in with my gynecologist who like delivered my son. So he had known me at that point for a very long time.
Yeah.
And he's like, I think your hormone is running out and your uterus is finally shrunk back to what it's supposed to be. So I think those two factors, I think your IUD might be the problem. And this man is a very straightforward man. I love him as a doctor. It's kind of what I need as someone with anxiety. He's just like, this is what's going to happen. And
Yeah,
so
give it to me straight.
yeah, and so he's like, I'm going to do a test, and if you feel pain, then that's what it is, and we're going to remove it today.
Mm.
And I was just like, okay. And I felt pain, and he was like, okay. And so he brought it. Like his assistant was there, and then this man has seen me give birth. Okay. And it is the only time he babied me, like comforted me in that way after they took, because it hurt when it was removed. And he was like, I know, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I was like, oh, it must be really bad if he's being that nice.
Yeah.
Like, like that fatherly about it.
Yeah.
and so I was like, great. And then I learned later there is something called the Mirena crash that happens after you have your IUD removed.
Yeah.
So for 2 years, I had intense, severe, depressive episodes every time I got my period.
Wow.
Again, didn't know about that. Wasn't told that it was a thing.
Yeah, it's like once you have this removed, you might have these symptoms. Like,
yeah, nope. I had to do the research myself, like you did, and dive into it myself. And I thankfully am recovered from that. But now I have some fertility issues that have me raising my eyebrows and wondering if there's a connection with that.
Yeah.
And I hate that I have to wonder that and that I don't have that information in my hands. Like, without doing a deep dive on my own. So having to do your own research on your own reproductive system is infuriating.
It really is. And honestly, it's just, yes, it's complicated, I guess, like to explain to somebody. I think that that's an excuse that's used. It's like, oh, well, the female reproductive system is so much more complex, and that's why they don't really explain it in that much detail, because how much are you going to retain of it? It's just complicated. But also, there's just not a lot of research out there that has been dedicated to this. I mean, I even saw an article this week from BBC that talked about how there's I can't remember the startup, like some type of research that's going on, but a recent article like that came out this year saying that they're gonna start including menstrual blood in just like medical testing, how they test urine for things, or like fecal matter or whatever. Like they're gonna start testing.
Oh, just now in 2026?
Menstrual blood.
Just
and
now?
Like, yeah, it could give some insight into if a woman has endometriosis or PCOS. It's like no one ever thought to test menstrual blood.
Oh my god.
And it's like, well, of course,
this patriarchal society will be the death of us.
Seriously. And then what was it? I read that I think it was either 2016 or 2019. I want to say 2019, but don't quote me on that. Was when they actually started using menstrual blood to test period products.
Oh my freaking god. This is why we need more people who have uteruses and who menstruate in these positions, because they would know to test for that.
Right. So I mean, you really do, you have to like do your own research, because I feel like, doctors don't even know. And I watched this one video, I can't remember who it was, but it was a gynecologist that was talking about when they went through med school. I think they were gynecologists. They might have just been some type of doctor, but talking about how they went to, when they would go, it's probably like they went through med school maybe in the 90s or something. It wasn't even that long ago, but they talked about how they labeled women like a WW. Like that's just a whiny woman when they come in with complaints about cramps, or they're too severe cramps, or this is, but there's nothing that they can really see that's wrong with them. They just label them a WW.
Yeah.
And it's like
she's got the hysteria.
Right.
Like that kind of like old-timey like diagnosis.
God, and even now, like you can't truly diagnose endometriosis without surgery.
Yeah. That's I mean, even like general health stuff, like I was having dizziness for the last couple months because I've been sick on and off. So it was really hard to tell if it was like the sickness causing that, but I could tell that it was there before. And I go to the doctor, and it's not my usual doctor, but we're talking, and she's like, oh, you're probably dehydrated, drink more water. No exam, other than some blood work.
Wow.
No other like basic checkups, other than like checking my pulse and all that.
Uh-huh.
And surprise, surprise, drinking water did not make the problem go away. So I had to
Of
go
course
to
not.
I had to go to urgent care about a week later, and I
Oh,
had to be
wow.
like, "Hey, they told me this. I know something is wrong."
Right.
Turns out I had vertigo
Oh, man.
for like 4 months.
Ugh, that's awful.
Yeah, and the only reason the woman who I saw at urgent care knew is A, because she talked to me for more than 5 minutes, and B, because she had just gone through the same thing.
Wow.
And she noticed how sick I had been, and it can be caused by like viral illnesses, and I had like 3 in the last like 5 months.
Wow.
And so after like 3 days of starting like the stretching and like the head turn movements that you do for vertigo, I felt so much better.
Oh, that's good. God,
Yeah.
my mom has vertigo, and it's just
It
awful.
sucks.
Yeah.
And it gets
Yeah.
worse when you're on your period because you're losing blood, and now
Right.
suddenly your body is like, yeah, we need more insight into these things.
Yeah, seriously. It's ridiculous how like just people do not listen to women, especially in the medical field. I mean, I remember when I was in Costa Rica, I went to school there. I did like a study abroad program. And I had traveled a little bit before then. I had like studied abroad in Kenya. And so I asked my advisor, like, hey, is the water okay in Costa Rica? And he was like, oh yeah, it's fine. Like you'll be good. They have a great water system, blah, 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 whatever. So I'm living there like with a host family, with going to school, filling up my water bottle at school, having fresh juices and this and that. And I was sick like the whole time.
Oh,
Because if you live in the US and go to South America, typically the water is not like
it's
our
different.
bodies just, we're not used to the water
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So I ended up having to go to the emergency room. And the first thing they did was like put me in this room and like just ask me if I was pregnant, or like that was the only thing. They were like, oh, your stomach problems? Okay, you must be pregnant. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Oh, God, that's so frustrating.
it was so annoying. I'm like, no, I'm on my period right now.
Right now.
Like, I'm not pregnant. I have some type of like,
Yeah.
I'm sick. This is like a bacterial infection. So, yeah, it's just crazy how it's just, yeah, it's infuriating, and especially when you have like just going every single woman goes through this. Every
Yeah.
single woman, like, because it's just it's insane.
It really is. And I love the title of your guide is amazing. But
Thank you.
what did it feel like when you finally finished the guide?
I was really proud. It felt a sense of relief because I've been working on it for so long,
Yeah.
and just to see everything go from just this idea that I had, this experience that I was going on, right, with coming off of the pill, and then all of the research that I put into it. It was, yeah, it was amazing. It was definitely just relief, and then also there's something special about putting your experience and your knowledge and your passion into something tangible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so hard to describe, which is funny because we're writers. So normally we have to describe things.
Right.
But it's difficult to explain if you haven't experienced it yourself.
Yeah. And it's like nothing else. I mean, it's your work. It's something that was in your head and that you were able to translate into something. And when somebody gives you like feedback on it, and it's just like, yeah, I did that. It's
Yeah. It's
yeah.
almost like a part of yourself. It's like a little
Mhm.
piece of yourself in tangible form.
Yeah. So it was really cool. It was a special moment. My launch of it was a little difficult because I was like, okay, well, I have this trip. I had to go to a wedding in Costa Rica. Again, I did not drink the water this time. So I had a great trip. But yeah, my boyfriend and I had a friend's wedding in Costa Rica. And I was like, oh, that would be great to just like launch it while we're traveling. Cause then I have all these cool pictures and I can just like be getting like all this content. And
Oh,
um,
sweetie.
yeah, I didn't have service at the first place. And it was so weird because we were staying like at a resort that the wedding was at. Like it was a
Yeah.
really nice like resort that we were staying at. So I figured like, oh, there'll be Wi-Fi and this and that. And like, yeah,
Famous
I
last words.
barely I maybe posted like 2 stories about it on my Instagram because it just yeah, the Wi-Fi was just awful. Yeah, yeah. So not gonna do that again. But
Yeah, you live and learn.
yeah, learned my lesson there. But yeah, it was a cool experience just being able to finally finish it and have it come to life.
Yeah.
So
And I think what's also cool is seeing someone else holding your book.
mhm.
And I mean, I do events now during the year. I do like
Nice.
markets and festivals. Last
Mhm.
year, I did my town through its first Pride Festival last year. And
Nice.
that was just amazing. And I can't wait to do it again this year. And when I'm at the festival, I usually do tarot readings, but I also sell my
Cool.
books at the same time. And it's just so fun to like explain your book to people or like kind
Mhm.
of in person sell it. Even though I'm an introvert, it's talking about what I'm passionate about, so it's a
Right.
little easier. And for me, my books are romance, they have smut in them, and I love warning people about that.
Mhm.
And just like some of the reactions, like these 2 girls, I was like, well, this one's slow burn and this one starts off right away. And one of them just like flips a couple pages in and she's like, oh, yep, there it is.
Like, yep, wow, okay.
And like another girl who ended up doing my tattoo of my spider on my hand.
Nice.
I was like telling her about the books and she's like, she did the very reader thing of like she didn't say it, but her tone was like, I have so many books, but damn it. And she goes, yeah, I've been really into smut lately, and just grabbed one of the books and like paid for it. But it's so fun interacting with potential readers and then also seeing it on Instagram and people like
Mhm.
posting their copy of the book. And I imagine for you too, because of how important this is, not just to you, but to people who have a uterus and go through menstruation,
Yeah.
that to see people buying your book is like, yes, someone else is going to be informed of the stuff that I did not know.
Yeah, because I've written one other guide before this that was just called In Sync, and that one was more of like a productivity type of guide. Not really promoting that one anymore because that one was more about just like content creation and how to sync with your cycle and stuff. I might bring it back again, but just with the those types of products, and now with my new guide, it's so exciting just getting people's reaction of just like, wow, I've never like I didn't know about this. I didn't know
Yeah.
about like the different phases of the menstrual cycle or like, how to kind of live my life intertwined with it instead of just like ignoring it and pushing it down and pushing through the periods and all that kind of stuff. And it feels good, being able
Yeah.
to kind of see that light. I've had a few friends that have also come off of birth control and they message me and they reach out and they're like, wow, like I literally had a friend that said it feels like I'm myself again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just so it's really fulfilling, It's
Yeah.
because it's powerful for women to be able to really understand themselves and have that connection with themselves. So
Do you have any ideas for any future guides or any other writing projects you might be working on?
Yes. So I do want to go back and get my PhD, and I really want to study matriarchy.
Ooh.
So I am taking some courses right now that have to do with menstrual cycle education, but I want to be able to intertwine it all. So I am
Yep.
I'm in the research phase right now and just kind of listening to audiobooks as I can because I don't have a whole lot of free time. But I really have this idea for studying any types of matriarchal societies
Mhm.
that have been in existence, and then also how we are able to implement it through empowering women. And I think when women truly trust and know themselves in the way when it comes to their cycle and feeling confident of like what their body is doing, and because I think a lot of what the patriarchy does in our society is shame women because of how their body works, like periods are have always been deemed kind of like dirty and
It's a very, like, taboo. We don't really talk
yeah,
about
very
it, even though, like,
taboo.
half the population goes through it.
Right, and it's it's not something you talk about. It's not something that doctors, we talked about our our experiences, like, even
Yeah.
doctors don't really inform us. So we're really kept in the dark about our own bodies, and that kind of brings a lot of disconnect between ourselves and our cycle, our inner power. I think with comprehensive menstrual education and having that connect that women have with themselves and that trust will really impact how we live in a democratic society
Yeah.
because women are empowered, right? And that
Oh, yes. Especially right now. Yeah, 100%.
yeah.
We're pissed,
Mhm.
and we are not staying quiet about it anymore. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Mhm.
Well, since this is a writing podcast, I like to ask my writers, what is the best or worst piece of writing advice you've ever received?
So I would say probably when I was younger, and it's going to sound really basic, but just having some type of structure. I feel like
Oh, yeah,
write
that's a good one.
yeah, writing can be a lot, right? Like especially when you sit down and you have an idea and then you're looking at like a blank page.
Yep.
And it's just like, what do I do? And it feels overwhelming and it feels hard to start. But for me, I think the best advice I ever received was just having some type of outline to have a structure. And it's like
Yeah.
when you can kind of break it down into like, okay, what are the type of topics that I want to talk about? Or, if you're writing some type of novel, it's like, okay, what do I want this story sequence to be like? How do I want it to end? Working your way backwards. However, just having some type of structure and outline just makes it feel less daunting. And it's like,
Yes.
okay, you know what? Let me work on this part of the outline right now. Let me that way you're kind of like, hopping around sometimes, but you have an outline of where you're going and what you want your work to consist of. And that way it's not as like daunting as looking at a blank page and like, okay, I just have to start. And then sometimes you just freeze up because it's like, I don't know what to
Where
start
do I
with.
start? Yeah.
Exactly.
I when I first started writing had no outline, or I was a pantser through and through. I was like, let's see
Mhm.
where this story takes me. And half the time I never finished the story.
Mm,
So now I outline because for my brain, it breaks it down into like smaller actionable steps.
right.
So it's like instead of being like, okay, go, it's and then looking at a blank page, it's like,
Hmm.
okay, write this conversation between these two characters about this topic.
Exactly.
So it breaks it down a little bit. So
Yeah.
Yeah, having structure, great piece of advice. And lastly, to kind of wrap things up, what advice would you give to new indie writers or authors just starting out?
I would say don't be afraid to put yourself out there. I think that sometimes we can hold ourselves back in the beginning. You get nervous. I'm an overthinker. I do have OCD. So for me, it is, you get overwhelmed by all these thoughts of like, okay, should I say this? Is what I'm writing too close to this book? Or,
Yeah.
well, that idea is already out there. But the thing that makes it different is you. So like
I say that all the time. I literally say that all the time.
yes.
There is a clip of me at an author panel saying that. This is why
That's
we're
awesome.
friends.
Yep. But it's so true because it's like, well, yeah, of course there's tons of romance novels out there. Of course there's tons of like academic journals out there on this specific topic, but like what is different is what you bring to it, your voice, your personal experience, your ideas, like just your whole vibe. Like people can feel that when they're reading your work.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Another one was I read this somewhere that it was like a lot of people get discouraged because, oh, well, that's already out there. Like that idea is already out there. Instead of
Mhm.
saying instead of thinking to yourself, well, that idea is already out there, so I'm not going to do it. Look at it as evidence. Like
Yeah.
proof that it's like, oh, somebody's done that already. That means I can do it too.
Yeah, it's very much like the meme of like, oh, my cake doesn't look as good as the other one, and then somebody's like, holy shit, 2 cakes. Like like, you
Yeah.
know, all the people are like, all these tropes, so they're writing these romance they're tropes for a reason.
Yeah.
And if you think I'm gonna read one grumpy/sunshine and be like, I'm done with that, no, I'm gonna go find another one.
Exactly.
Because I want to see how this person writes it.
Mhm.
Yeah, there is some advice I got when I was starting my big project, Battle Cry, which is my audio drama. Imposter syndrome was so high at that point. I was like, what am I doing? What do I think? Who do I think I am? And so I've told this story before, but I got a cameo
Mhm.
from Neil Newbon, who plays Astarion in Baldur's Gate.
Okay.
And I was like, and it was about imposter syndrome. I was
Mm.
like, I'm doing this thing. Like, he's a creative who does voiceover stuff. He's a director. He does all these wonderful things. And I was
Mhm.
like, this imposter syndrome is killing me. And he gave me some just like really beautiful advice about imposter syndrome being wanting to be perceived as good by someone else when ultimately you don't need that. And one of the things he
Wow.
said, just do it and it's going to be good because you did it.
Wow.
And I was just like, that just cut through years of therapy, sir. I guess I just needed a beautiful British voice to tell me these things.
Oh yeah, that'll do
But
it.
it's so true, and it's definitely a philosophy that I've adopted while doing this and while coaching, because I'm an author coach as well. And it's just like, your voice matters, and how you feel about things, and even like you yourself, your voice for this guide is
Mhm.
giving voice to people who have been struggling and had
Yeah.
no idea how common it is.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's great advice. Yeah.
And on that note, thank you so much for joining me, Sam. This was so fun that we got
Oh,
to
thank you
chat.
so much for having me. This was awesome. I really enjoyed our conversation. It was great.
Where can people find you?
So I am on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads as Sam Ripley, and it's SamRiplee. So it's my middle name. I was actually named after Ripley's Believe It or Not. But
amazing.
But it is a double E, so Lee. So that's where you can find me. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, and there's a link to my store in all of my bios there.
And I will put links in the description of this episode.
Thank you.
This is a reminder that I do have a Patreon. Patrons receive episodes up to 2 days earlier than the general public. There are exclusive blogs and podcast episodes that are only found on Patreon. You'll also receive discounts on writing services, behind-the-scenes tidbits for Battle Cry, including access to our blooper reel, access to my Discord server, and shout-outs in future podcast episodes. So head over to patreon.com/Leani M. Lopez or check out the link in the description. Thank you again, Sam, and thank you to everyone who was listening and joined us today. And as always, happy writing.